If the Kraken was real, could Bigfoot be next? We used to laugh at sailors who claimed to see monsters with tentacles bigger than ships. Then we found the giant squid. We mocked legends of dragons and ghost bears, until science caught up. So here's the question that keeps cryptozoologists up at night. If so many myths turned out to be real, what's still hiding out there, waiting for its turn to be believed? We've seen it happen before. The gorilla was once a hairy man of the forest. The platypus, a hoax stitched together by drunk explorers. The coelacanth, a fossil, long extinct, until it swam right past a camera. Each time, we didn't just find an animal. We found proof that our disbelief isn't a shield, it's a blindfold. And if history repeats itself, then maybe today's cryptids are tomorrow's biology textbooks. Low beat. Pause. Subscribe if you think truth has a way of clawing out of legend. Because this next one, it might already be happening. Let's start with a ghost from the 20th century, the Thylacine, or Tasmanian tiger, declared extinct in 1936. But sightings never stopped. Farmers, hikers, even park rangers still report seeing striped shadows in the brush, glowing eyes, tail stiff like a ruler, vanishing into mist. Researchers found DNA fragments still viable. Cloning experiments are already underway. And every few months, a blurry video surfaces that sparks the same argument. Is it really back? Maybe extinction isn't as final as we think. Maybe belief is the first step toward rediscovery. If this gave you chills, that's your brain rewarding uncertainty. Don't fight it. Subscribe for more. The ocean hides more than any forest ever could. For centuries, sailors spoke of the Kraken, tentacles that crush ships, eyes the size of moons. We found the giant squid, but reports persist of something even larger. Carcasses too big to identify. Gigantic sucker marks on whales wider than a dinner plate. Marine biologists have footage of deep-sea shadows longer than a bus, too fluid, too fast to be a squid. Could there be a cousin species? A true giant octopus, still unknown to science? If so, it would explain centuries of sea monster stories. Because sometimes legends exaggerate, but they rarely invent from nothing. Now, let's go deeper. In 2012, a Japanese submersible recorded something strange off the coast of Ningen, Antarctica's frozen frontier. White, smooth-skinned humanoid. No diver could survive those depths. No seal moves that way. The crew said it was shaped like us. Ningen, they called it. Japanese for human. Most scientists call it pareidolia, the mind seeing patterns in chaos. But here's where it gets strange. Sonar traces and temperature readings show movement patterns too complex for ice. Are we looking at new marine species? Or something parallel, intelligent, watching us from below? If the ocean still hides 80% of its species, what else could it hide? If that thought made you look over your shoulder, you're in the right place. Subscribe. You'll want to know what's next. Now, the oldest cryptid question of all. Bigfoot. Every culture has its own version. The Yeti, the Yeren, the Orang Pendek. Large, bipedal, intelligent, and always almost seen. Mainstream science laughs, but here's the uncomfortable truth. We keep discovering new primate species. The Tapanuli orangutan was found in 2017, the most human-like ape ever documented. And DNA samples from alleged Bigfoot hair? Many were animal, but a few unclassified. Could these wild men be surviving relics of Gigantopithecus, the real giant ape that once roamed Asia? Imagine a creature intelligent enough to avoid us, because it remembers what happens when humans find things. Here's where it gets fascinating and deeply human. When we hear something unbelievable, our brains react like it's a threat. It's called psychological resistance, a reflex that keeps us safe by rejecting the unknown. But that same reflex blinds us to discovery. We used to say gorillas didn't exist. We used to laugh at fossils of dinosaurs. We used to say, if it were real, we'd have found it by now. Yet science is still finding hundreds of new species every year. Some large, some ancient, some that rewrite everything. So when people laugh at cryptid stories, I always ask, who's really being irrational? The believer who wonders, or the skeptic who assumes we've seen it all? If your mind leans toward wonder, not dismissal, subscribe. You're the kind of person who keeps discovery alive. Here's a fact that breaks most people's brains. We've mapped Mars more thoroughly than Earth's oceans. We've explored less than 5% of the deep sea. We've cataloged maybe 20% of life on land. That means most of Earth is still a mystery. And where there's mystery, there's room for myth. But maybe myth is just an early name for unverified truth. The next cryptid we laugh at might already be documented, just sitting in some blurry trail cam footage, waiting for someone brave enough to believe what they're seeing. So, what could be proven next? Maybe the Thylacine steps back into daylight. Maybe divers finally catch the giant octopus on film. Or maybe a new species of primate, caught between intelligence and instinct, steps out of the forest and locks eyes with us. Because every legend starts as a rumor, and every rumor starts as someone's truth. If the Kraken was real, if the dragon had scales instead of wings, if the ghost tiger still prowls Tasmanian nights, then what else might be hiding in the shadows of disbelief? Maybe Bigfoot isn't the question. Maybe we are. Because history keeps proving the world is far stranger than the people who claim to understand it. Which cryptid do you think will be proven next? If you've ever felt that hum, that sense that stories might be more than stories, subscribe. You're not chasing myths, you're chasing the future of truth.